So students, in the last lecture we have seen the solution of nonlinear partial differential equations of order 1 and of any degree. This we have seen by considering different kinds of standard forms. That means we have considered standard form 1, standard form 2, standard form 3 and standard form 4. And based upon the category of the equation, that means the equation lies in which category, that we require to identify first. And if we identify this one first, then the solution was very easy, as we have discussed in the last lecture. Now let us see here the same equations but the solution general method for the solution, and this general method is known as Charpit's method. Charpit's method. So every year one example is always there based on Charpit's method. That means you may be asked a question just like solve partial differential equation by using Charpit's method. It has the weightage of 3 to 4 marks. Here this method is very simple. It is general method, no doubt. We can solve nonlinear equations by using the same technique. But here the formula for Charpit's, based on Charpit's method, is slightly into complicated form, but it is not difficult to understand and to digest. Okay? So for that, here we know that the partial differential equation may be given into the form. Suppose this is the partial differential equation which contains P and Q, and you know that P is del Z by del X and Q is del Z by del Y, and X, Y are independent variables. So the equation which contains X, Y, Z, P and Q is, it can be of any order. It can be of any order, P square or Q square or Q cube, P cube, like this. Because before in the starting of the semester we have seen Lagrange equation, and also I discussed to you in the last lecture we have seen this Lagrange's equation, linear Lagrange's differential equation, because here the power of P is 1 and Q are always 1. So this is linear, and if P square Q square are involved, then we say that it is non-linear. Okay, where capital P, capital Q and capital R are the auxiliary equations, functions of X, Y and Z. Then we have written there the auxiliary equations dx upon capital P, dy upon capital Q and dz upon capital R. And there we have obtained two different solutions. And based on these two solutions, we have written the general solution of the given equation, this kind of equation. This was Lagrange equation. Okay, but here we want to see nonlinear equation, and we want to apply Charpit's method, because in examination always the you will be asked the question with the name of this method. So here to solve this equation, we will require to find out auxiliary equation just like this in the form of dp upon dq upon dz upon dx upon and dy upon. So you will have to remember these things. Okay, here dp upon, it is f of x plus p f z, dq upon f of y plus q f z, this is dz upon minus p f p minus q f q, and it is minus f p minus f q. So you will have to remember this auxiliary format. Once if you will remember this formula, then the solution process is very simple. Okay, so these are 5 auxiliary equations you can see. But among this solution, we want to solve only one pair. That means we want to find out the values of P and Q by using this step. If we will obtain P, then Q can be determined very easily by substituting this into the given equation. If Q is known, by using the same procedure, we can obtain the value of P from this one. Okay? So here, okay. So, and finally, we want to substitute the values of P and Q in dz equal to P dx plus Q dy. So, you understand the fact. We will be given, this equation will be given to us, and we want to write down these auxiliary equations, and from these auxiliary equations we want to find out the values of P and Q, and then we will have this relation dz equal to P dx plus Q dy. And you must be remembering that in the last lecture in the standard form 1 we have used this kind of equation. So after in this equation we will have to substitute the values of P and Q. And after substituting these values of P and Q, simply we require to solve this equation, and the solution of this equation will become very simple. But in that means we require simple integration. But here you note that during the integration, here with dz we must have the function of z only. Here with dx we have the function of x only. Here with dy we have the function of y only. If x is involved here, then we can mix up the two equations, or we can bring x over here by using division or multiplication. Similarly here, if y is involved, then we can bring that y over here by using division or multiplication. Or z is there, then this z is also we can bring over left hand side. So dz, there must be function of z with dz, function of x with dx, function of y must be with dy. If they are mixed, then we can separate out them. After then we need to integrate such thing, and after integrate such thing we can obtain the final solution. So friends, here the main question is that how will you remember this formula? This formula is that first of all you write down dp dq, okay, and you know that p is related with x, q is related with y. So here in dp you write down fx, with dq you write down f1. Then plus in both we will have to add f of z. We will have to add f of z. Here it is dp, so we will multiply this by p. Here it is dq, we will multiply this by q. So we can get dp upon this one and dq upon this one. Then it comes dz. So when we want to write dz, then consider these two things, dp and dq. So these are f of p and f of q related with derivative. Here f of p means what? F of p means the derivative of f with respect to p, and f of q means the derivative of f with respect to q. So multiply this fp by p and this by q and put minus sign in both things. And then dx upon is very easy. Fp is related with x, or minus fp, and dy upon minus fq. Actually there are 5 equations you can see, but we don't want to solve each of the equations because our target here is to find out the values of p and q only. And once if we are able to find out p and q, then the problem is very simple, because we need to substitute them into this one. Okay, so this is the concept of Char-Pitts method. And once if you have understood this fact, then you can secure the marks, 4 marks very easily. Nothing No hard work is there. Simply you require to understand the plan. So now I request you to be ready during this lecture. You must be ready with your notebook and ball pen, so as you can write down each and everything whatever I am writing on the board in your notebook, and you consider this notebook as your classwork, because if it will require, I will demand your classwork notebook, and you must also write down tutorial. So have you noted this? Okay, so this is the main fact. This equation, then this one and this one. Three things you will have to remember to solve equations by using Chapek's method. So now let us see some of the examples one by one. First example, let us see. Solve by using Chapek's method. Chapek's method. And friends, you don't forget to put your attendance in the Google form which you have been provided. It is very compulsory. Your attendance is very compulsory. So now see, here the equation is Q equal to 3p square. So now we solve this one. So as the method I discussed to you, that first of all we will be given the equation in the form of f of x, y, z, comma pq equal to 0. That means given that f of x, comma y, comma z, comma p, comma q equal to, you can write down this equation as q minus 3p square or 3p square minus q. So here you can see that this structure is long structure, you can see, but the equation is not that kind of long. You can see there are only two terms are involved, 3p square and minus q. No x, no y is there. Actually there may be x or y or z also be there, but in this equation only q and p are there. So this is the given equation. So we will give it as equation number 1. So whenever you proceed, you must write down the equation 1, equation 2, equation 3, etc. whatever are coming on the way. Okay. So the Chapek's, then we will write down the formula for Chapek's auxiliary equation. So you should write down that the Chapek's equations are here we are using R because there are 5 equations. So first of all we will write down dp upon, you can remember this very easily. You can write down this simply, write down dp, then dq, then dz, then dx, and then dy. dp, dq, dz, dx and dy, you remember this sequence. Okay. And we have noted that with dp, what will it come? F of x, here it will come f of y. Then what will it come? We will have to here f of z, here also f of z. Then here we will have to add this one with by multiplying this by p. Here we will have to write down q. So you can write down the equations very simply. With dz, now in rest of the equations only fp and fq are involved. Only fp and fq are involved. No fx, fz or fy are involved. So here we know that dz involves fp and fq. And we know that fp is multiplied by p and fq is multiplied by q. Here is minus, here is minus. And then dx has minus fp and dy has minus fq. Okay. So these are the Chapek's auxiliary equations. Now what do we require to find out? We are given the function f. Then in throughout we will require to find out f of x, f of y, f of z, then f of p and f of q. These 5 things we are required to find out. Okay. However, what is our target? You must remember that we are using these auxiliary equations. Finally, our target is to find out the values of p and q only. P and q only. And once if we are able to find out their values, then it is sufficient. So f of x is what? That means derivative of this f with respect to x. Here is no x. So the derivative is 0 because everything else we are considering as constant. If we find out derivative with fy, here again there is no y, so it is 0. The derivative with respect to z, again there is no z, so the derivative is 0. You can see the derivative fp means derivative with respect to p, small p. So here is this p square. So derivative of p square is 2p, that means 6p. And derivative of q is 0. So this is 6q. 6p. And f of q, the derivative of this is 0 because we are differentiating with respect to q and it is minus 1. So we have obtained all the 5 equations. Actually you can write down these equations in a row so as to save the space. F of p equal to 6p and f of q equal to minus 1. So these are the values we have obtained. So procedure is very simple. If you write down, if you solve or if you practice this example, then go very slowly in the first example, in the first solution, then automatically you will get the speed to solve such kind of equations. So now we put the values. Therefore, we have, so if you put this kind of sentences, then the solution will look very fine. Okay. We have dp upon, what is the value of fx? It is 0. What is the value of fz? It is again 0. So this is 0. Then dq. What is the value of fy? It is 0. Fz is again 0. So this is 0. dz upon minus p fp. Minus p is there. fp is 60. Minus q. F of q is minus 1. Okay? Equal to dx upon minus fp minus 6p. F of p is 6p. dy upon minus f of q, that means it is 1. So now these are the auxiliary equations based on the given equation. Now we want to find out, by using these 5 equations, we want to find out the values of p and q. So consider the simplest equations which we can integrate very easily. We can mix up any 2 equations. Okay? We can mix up any 2 equations which can be integrated very easily. But here we are given that dp upon 0. Actually all these are equal, so they all are must be some equal to some constant. So we can consider a single equation only because dp upon 0 is 0 equal to some constant. So this equal to, we can consider dp equal to 0 because this is valid, only dp equal to 0. So dp equal to 0, then we require to integrate this one. So dp has the integration p, 0 has the integration 0 and plus some arbitrary constant a. You can also put c or c1, c2, c3, you can write down this, or I can also write down the constants as a, b, c like this. So p equal to a. Now we want to find out the value of q. P is obtained. Now it is required to find out the value of q. You don't try to find out by using by taking dq equal to 0 by using the same thing, because you will get a q equal to be some constant, but if both are into the constant form, then the solution will become it will be not of importance. So we will find out the value of q by substituting this into equation 1. Therefore, putting p equal to a in equation number 1. So what will we get here? we will get here, if we will put p equal to a here, then we will get 3a square minus q equal to 0. So this implies that q equal to 3a square. That means here, if we would have considered if q equal to 0, then we would have obtained q equal to some constant b. Okay? But here it is again the constant, but b is in terms of a, so 3a square. Okay? So now, after this, what do we require? We require just because P and Q have been obtained. We have not, you can see, you must have observed that we have not used these three equations because it is not required. Simple equations we should consider. So then, put P and Q in dz equal to P dx plus Q dy. Therefore, what will we get? dz equal to P equal to a dx plus Q equal to 3a square dy. So now we integrate this one. So we can integrate because there is nothing is here. Dx as a, so y is not involved. Dy as 3a square, so integration is possible. So z equal to ax, dx as integration x, it is 3a square y plus some constant c. Because whenever we integrate, we must add some constant. So this is the required solution. So finally you write down that it is the required solution or required answer. Okay? Have you understood that? That means this structure is complicated by looking, but not complicated in the solution procedure. Okay? Now let us see another example or another equation. Px plus qy equal to pq. See, this equation contains p, q, x and y. So if we solve this equation by using the same thing, then here we will have we will write down the given equation into this form. That is, given f of x, y, z, pq equal to px plus qy minus pq equal to 0. So this is the given equation. Now, after that, the second step is to write down Charpik's equation into this form, dp open, dq open, and I already explained to you how to remember this and how to write down the denominators in each